Greetings and welcome to the video production of Pixel Pioneer. The UK offers dozens of top-tier destinations, but visiting them in 2026 involves navigating several new layers of bureaucratic friction. By February 2026, the government is enforcing a mandatory electronic travel authorization, or ETA. If you are a citizen of the US, Canada, or the EU, you must apply for this in advance. This coincides with a severe national security level, meaning border screenings are more intensive and time-consuming. Between the no permission, no travel mandate and heightened security, the spontaneous, last-minute trip is effectively dead for international travelers. Failing to plan for these entry requirements will result in denied boarding at your departure airport. Navigating 2026 successfully requires adopting a strict upfront strategy based on your specific travel persona. Rather than trying to visit every town mentioned in a guidebook, we're going to narrow your options by identifying your specific requirements. We will evaluate 3 distinct travel paths: the classic rail corridor, the national parks, and the hidden gems. To find your match, we're plotting these paths against specific logistical metrics. Every route is judged on 3 specific criteria: the financial cost, the physical effort required, and the actual on-the-ground vibe. Prioritizing these logistical realities over viral imagery ensures your itinerary is built on the actual constraints of 2026 travel. The first-timer persona targets the primary historical hubs: London, Bath, York, and Edinburgh. This path relies on high-speed rail, using operators like Lumo to move between city centers without a vehicle. Trains provide direct access to medieval and Georgian centers, but tickets are expensive unless booked months in advance, and your movements are limited to high-density urban areas. Major events in 2026, such as the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, will create massive regional tourism spikes that affect rail availability and pricing throughout the summer. You gain access to the most famous cultural landmarks, but you must accept premium accommodation costs and significant crowd fatigue. This includes seamless access to high-profile sites like the Tower of London. This route provides the highest concentration of historic landmarks, but it requires a high tolerance for crowds and very little budget fidelity. The Wilderness Optimizer moves away from the cities, targeting the Lake District, Snowdonia, the Cairngorms, and the Pembrokeshire coast. The primary input here is a rental car and dedicated outdoor gear. These landscapes are not accessible via the main rail network. This vehicle access places you directly into vast, wild landscapes, from remote dark sky stargazing sites to UNESCO-protected coastlines. The trade-off is the driving itself. You must navigate narrow, left-hand drive country roads, and your itinerary is entirely subject to the UK's weather. You get quiet vistas and a high physical return on your time, whether you are summiting peaks in Wales or hiking the Jurassic Coast in England. Note the downsides. Travel days are physically taxing, and rural areas often lack late-night dining or immediate emergency services. This path is for those who prioritize authentic isolation and outdoor challenges over city convenience, provided they are confident behind the wheel. The Hidden Gem Curator focuses on aesthetically unique locations like Portmeirion, Tenby, Clovelly, and the Cotswolds. This requires committing to specific, out-of-the-way geography that sits far off the main transit arteries. For example, the cliffside village of Clovelly in Devon features a steep, car-free layout that has remained unchanged for decades. The outcome is a hyper-authentic, storybook aesthetic that suits slow-paced travel and photography. However, these spots suffer from heavy logistical friction. A lack of direct train access makes them difficult to reach, and they are often overwhelmed by visitors during peak summer weekends. Capturing these isolated, aesthetically unique experiences requires the most patience and a willingness to navigate complex transit connections. Regardless of your style, the baseline for 2026 is clear. Secure your £16 ETA as early as possible and prepare for higher travel volumes. Use this decision tree to match your budget to the right itinerary. To avoid driving and prioritize urban history, choose the rail corridor. For mountains and left-hand driving, pick the national parks. For coastal aesthetics and slow transit, target the hidden gems. A successful trip in 2026 requires making a choice. Attempting to see the capital, the Highlands, and the Welsh coast in a single week will lead to burnout. Thank you for watching this travel guide video by Pixel Pioneer. Have a blessed day ahead and safe travels.